In the past days, Ukraine has been hit very hard by Russian attacks, missiles and drones, almost on every night flying towards not only the capital, but other targets in the entire country, and surprisingly, successfully hitting a lot of targets, which indicates that the air defense in Ukraine is struggling. Moscow says the war will continue for as long as it's necessary to reach its war objectives. Jan, hi, you're in Kiev right now, and as I can see, you're
Hi.
at one of the sites where there's a lot of destructions. Where are you? What's going on?
Exactly. This place was hit just a few nights ago. You can see all the destruction, right? This used to be a Lada, a car. You can still actually smell the burned tires and everything. And in the back, it was, I should say, an apartment building where a cruise missile hit. I'm not exactly sure how many people died in this exact spot, but a lot of people. And this is, just like you said, something that has been happening in the past weeks, not on a nightly basis, but definitely several nights per week. And we can definitely see that the airstrikes by Russia are intensifying a lot.
How have you personally experienced it in the past days? I mean, I assume you stayed at a hotel again, right? Did you sleep through it, or how was the situation for you?
I mean, in the past, I used to sleep through it. The last night was also more or less okay. There were just a few Shahed drones in the sky. But the night before, it was really, really something that I have never experienced in Ukraine before. And I think it's my seventh or even eighth time here since the war broke out in 2022. It was the most massive attack you can imagine. I think there were around, or even more than 500 drones launched by Russia, and I think 11 ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, hypersonic missile too. It was really crazy. The air raid alert started around 10 in the evening. I still thought, okay, maybe it's a normal air raid alert, but then I even fell asleep in my hotel room. But then around midnight, there was such an explosion that really the windows were shaking. So then I thought, okay, maybe it's really time to go to the shelter, or at least downstairs to the lobby area, because this is also quite well protected. And then basically the explosions continued until I would say 5:30. So 8 hours of constant attacks, and really everything shaking. I could see some photos on X, and more or less in real time, and you could see basically fires all over the city. So it's been quite hard.
I mean, the citizens in Kiev are sort of used to a number of attacks, but now this massive increase, does it have any effect on people? What are they saying, the people you're talking to?
It has a big effect. I mean, here we just arrived here, so I haven't talked to anyone here. But yesterday I was at another place where a Shahed drone hit just the night before, actually during this massive attack that I was just talking about. And the whole neighborhood was really in shock. A lot of people were crying. Some people sat there just motionless. And yeah, I think you can really feel that these intensifying air attacks of the past weeks, they have a strong psychological effect on the people all over Ukraine, but especially here in Kiev. And I interviewed some people there in this neighborhood. Maybe we can just listen in.
No, when you live in such in the Ukraine there is war, and every day it can be drone attack, rocket attack, ballistic. It's like lottery. You can win, you can live or not.
So you can see people are really in shock, and I think that there's a general feeling in town that the danger is intensifying. Things are getting more dangerous again. You can also see it in the shelters. You know, for a while after the first weeks of the war, a lot of people didn't go to shelters anymore when there was an air raid alert, and the shelters are much fuller again nowadays. So, and it also is reflected by the statistics, right? Like in the past weeks, especially all over June, there have been such massive attacks with hundreds of drones and missiles, and especially ballistic missiles, that has never occurred before in this intensity, especially here in the capital. And one big problem that a lot of experts mention is that, for example, in the last attack, Kiev, the government and military, was able to intercept a lot of drones, but they were not able to intercept any of those really destructive ballistic missiles, and that's a headache for a lot of people here at the moment.
And do you believe that, the fact that the US once again announced that they will reduce their weapons supplies, possibly also air defense supplies, has a consequence? So are we seeing the reality of that already now? More hits because there's a lack in air defense systems?
Yeah, I think it goes hand in hand. People are shocked by the intensifying air attacks, but of course the news some days ago that the US was planning to hold some very important weapons shipments came as another shock because the US also mentioned the famous Patriot missiles. It's one of the few systems that can intercept ballistic missiles launched by Russia. So this came as a very, very big shock. But then in the days afterwards, there was also a little bit, not really relief, but maybe just a little bit of optimism after first the phone call between President Trump and Putin that didn't go very well, obviously, and Trump afterwards said that he's very, very disappointed by President Putin. And then one day later, the phone call between Trump and President Zelensky, that was obviously much more productive, much more fruitful. And according to the presidential office here in Ukraine, also weapon shipments have been discussed, even some joint project when it comes to air defense. So I think, as so often when it comes to U.S. foreign policy in the past months, there is no very clear line. And regarding these air defense shipments, I think the last word is probably not spoken.
Well, thank you very much, Jan. I think for those of our viewers who are interested in learning more about how these drones, the Shahed drones you mentioned, for example, from Iran work, I can recommend to watch one of our previous videos. For now, let's see what the political developments in the next days will bring. We will certainly watch it. You're still there, so please stay safe, stay well, and I'll be heading to Russia soon. So maybe in one of the next days we can talk, give our viewers an update again about what's going to happen. You from Kiev and Al from Russia. Then stay safe, Jan, and all the best.
Thanks a lot. See you soon.